As Shalom, first and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, or Kakadash. Dumb honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, whom I learned his truth from. And peace and salutations to all the Akyam and the believers that are scattered across the four corners of this earth, pushing and believing this truth. I'm the bro, Shamala from the GMS Houston camp. And this lesson is going to be titled Wheat and Chaff, or the Wheat and Chaff. And it's not going to be like no breakdown going into the process, actually explaining, going deep into the meaning of it, the wheat and the chaff. Nah, it's not. I'm not going into that. You see, so don't expect that. But basically, going into how that, when you are gathering crops or whatnot, you would have the grain or the wheat that's covered in chaff, and you have to go through a sifting process, or put it in a sieve, or something like that. I think they call it also like winnowing, to separate the chaff from the wheat, because the chaff can't be used. It's useless. You don't need that. You want to separate that from the good stuff. And the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, does that in his truth. Separate the chaff from the wheat, which the chaff will be the wicked, and the wheat will be the elect. So let me get started. Psalms 1:1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of Yahweh, and in his law doeth he meditate day and night. So this person is going to be different from the wicked, because he upholds the Most High's law and cherishes it. It doesn't follow after the wicked, so it's a separation. It says, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Right? Because you connect it to the source, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the spirit. Right? So you will be fruitful, right, in the spirit. It says, the ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Let me go into this word chaff. I didn't do that. I looked it up on online. It looks like Mawatata. It says winnowed, rather thresh, loose chaff, always driven by the wind. It says pressed out. Cause hey, that's what the Most High. Like if you have a wicked individual in the truth, he gonna press him out of here through trials and tribulation. All right. It says, therefore the ungodly shall not stand in judgment, nor sinners in the congregation, of the righteous. See, so a wicked person is not going to be able to basically stand in this truth or be amongst righteous men for too long, because they will be driven away like the chaff. And like I said in verse 4, the Most High will remove them as chaff is removed from wheat. It says, for Yahweh knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Now let me get Amos 9:9. It says, for lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, Like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth, right? The same thing. You put it in there in the sieve and you sift it so the bad stuff can fall out. Right? To remove all the stuff that you do not need, all of the extra, all of the BS. Right? And it's what the Most High He's doing. He's getting the best, which represents the elect. And everything else is going to be cut off. Let me see. Definition for sifting. One of what I seen down here says, number 2, examine something thoroughly so as to isolate that which is most important or useful. And that's what he's doing. The elect is useful to the Most High. Right? Those are his servants. Those are the ones that are obedient, right? That are fit for the kingdom. Right? Separate something, especially something to be discarded from something else. Right? So the wicked are the 2/3, right, of the nation of Israel, which consists of the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. They will be discarded, right? Because the Lord has rejected them, right? At full of dross. Matthew 13 and 47. It says, again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered every kind. Right? Yahushua said that he would make the disciples fishers of men through this word. And when you teaching this word, that's casting a net out there to grab the elect. But you're gonna have certain individuals that come in that's not meant for this thing, that are wicked, and their spirits, their spirit is not right. Right? But casting a net into the sea is like, is representing, us teaching. Right? It says, and gather every kind. Right? So you're gonna have lots of people drawn into this thing. But like the scriptures say, let me see. Matthew 22 and 14, for many are called, but few are chosen. So you're going to have a lot of people that are drawn into this thing, but everybody is not going to be chosen. But many will be called. It says, which when it was full, they drew to the shore and sat down and gathered the good vessels, but cast the bad away. All right, so they will be discarded. The good vessels represents the elect, and the bad will represent the 2/3. The ones that are destined for destruction. So shall it be at the end of the world. The angel shall come forth and sever or separate the wicked from the just, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth, right? Talking about the nuclear destruction that will come upon Babylon the Great, which is America. But it says the angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just. Just like you have a person separating the wheat from the chaff, or the grain from the chaff. The angels will come back and do that. And the latter end, you see, the elect will be delivered up into the chariots, right? It be saved, and the wicked will be destroyed because they aren't useful. The Most High has no need for rebellious spirits. Right? They are not good vessels. Right? Let me see. 2 Timothy 2:21. It says, I get verse 20. But in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and silver, but also of wood and of earth, and some to honor and some to dishonor, right? Many different types of materials, right, in the house. And you have some with higher regard, with more worth, and some with little worth, and no worth at all, right? And this house, it represents the house of Israel. The house of Israel is the same way. You have the Israel of the Most High, which is that gold and that silver. But you have those who are just, simply just Israel. Like the scripture say, Romans 9, they are not Israel. Let me see, because I always kind of like mangle it. Romans 9:6, I believe. Yeah, Romans 9:6, as though the word of the Most High had taken on effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. So it's because they being called Israelites. Don't mean you actually are the Israel of the Most High. You are actually being what the Most High intended for us to be, which is being obedient and following these laws to the best of our ability and being sincere. Verse 21, if a man therefore purge himself from these, he shall be a vessel unto honor, sanctified, meet for the master's use, and prepared unto every good work. Right, because when you separate the wheat from the chaff, or the grain from the chaff, you have a purpose for it. Right, so you could eat, you feed your family, you could sell it, right? You make some profit, but something as good is coming out of it, you can use it. You see? And the most I can use the elect. What is he using the elect for? Right now, he's using the elect to teach, to spread his word, to gather in more men of the elect. Right? So they can be sealed. And then the Most High will deliver them. And then they will be in the kingdom. Right? Being fruitful and multiplying like we were supposed to do. And we will all be righteous. The Most High will use the elect to make a righteous kingdom. Right? Use the elect to serve him. Putting the law, statutes, and commandments in the inner parts. Right? But it says being meat for the master's use. Right? So if you ain't meat for the master's use, you will be discarded. Rejected. Right? Being something that's worthless and not useful. Like the fig tree. Can't produce no figs, then what the fuck are you here for? Right? You can't produce in this work. Right? Bring forth fruit. You see? Increase. Why the fuck are you even here? Alright? So, you gotta be sanctified, right? Which Yahweh Shai sanctifies you. Alright? Then you meet for the master's use. Then you are vessel unto honor. Right? When you truly sanctified in the spirit. Alright? But that's the lesson. Alright? With that, I'm gonna say Shalom.